When I say that, so low-income households typically spend 3 times more of their income on energy than the average household. Uh, Families are often renting older homes, inefficient homes that lead to higher utility bills and unhealthy indoor environments. A recent study found that energy efficient housing can reduce household energy burdens by up to 30%. So it really provides a long-term financial benefit and relief to a family. By building affordable, efficient homes in our world, we're reducing living expenses, improving health outcomes, and helping families build stability and generational wealth. So we have committed to an all-electric model because it's simpler, it's cleaner, and it's more cost-effective over time. Electrification allows us to eliminate on-site fossil fuel use, which improves indoor air quality. We take advantage of, in most cases, rapidly improving efficiency in electric appliances like heat pumps. And we integrate seamlessly with solar energy, making true net zero building possible. And I'll talk more about the solar, but that's really the key here for us, is that we're connecting the all electric with the solar is where the cost savings comes in and where it makes the biggest difference. According to Rewiring America, switching to all electric appliances can cut household greenhouse gas emissions by 40 to 70%. Obviously, that's a big range, and it really depends on the grid mix and the appliance efficiency that you're working with.
No.
Electrification also future-proofs homes. So as we think about cities and states increasingly restricting gas hookups in new construction, at Bend-Redmond Habitat, we achieve significant savings by optimizing each home's energy efficiency. 33% less energy than a typical new build in the state of Oregon. We do this through rigorous energy modeling and really strategic design choices before anything else. Every design choice that we make is about reducing energy demand affordably. We maximize efficiency with high performance ductless mini splits and heat pump hot water heaters, advanced air sealing and insulation to minimize heat loss, and we carefully design the building's envelope to reduce the required size and cost of the solar array. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory reports that passive design strategies and airtight construction can reduce HVAC energy demand by over 50%. So these energy efficiency gains are really critical to making solar integration financially feasible for us. A lot of times we hear that the energy grid concerns and increasing demand on the energy grid or mandating electrification across the country is a big concern. And this is why we connect our homes to solar. It really closes the loop. We're powering high efficiency systems with renewable energy. It shields homeowners from utility rate hikes, which have outpaced inflation in a lot of areas, and it stabilizes the local grid by reducing peak demand. So in the past, we've been able to leverage programs like Solar Within Reach and the Energy Trust of Oregon and their EPS program to make solar accessible for low and moderate income families. These incentives have helped us really bridge the affordability gap, but they've expired. They're not there right now. We're preparing right now to participate in the Solar for All program, which is a federally funded initiative designed to expand solar access to disadvantaged communities nationwide. It's run through the EPA, and the state of Oregon is in the process of creating their Solar for All program right now. In the meantime, we bridge the gap for funding using our donor restricted sustainability fund. So it's designed exclusively to for high performance building strategies. So our solar installations, advanced HVAC systems. Uh, so this fund is really a critical tool that allows us to maintain our commitment to net zero construction, even when public incentives fall short. Um, so all electric, solar powered homes obviously dramatically cut energy costs. We had one homeowner, she moved into her home, and the first month that she was there, she called us and was in disbelief. Her when she was renting her apartment, her last energy bill was $208. And her first energy bill in her new townhome was $14.50. And she called us and she said, "This can't be right." So these savings, they transform lives. It reduces utility costs and means that the families can invest in education, healthcare, savings, wealth building. Uh, on average, over the course of a 30-year mortgage, our homeowners are saving $28,000 in energy costs because of the way we're building these homes. But the impact doesn't stop there. We're building permanently affordable homes, and we design for long-term performance. So the homes are built to last, and so are the benefits. There's low operating costs, healthy indoor environments, and climate resilience that support generations of families. Uh, so every decision that we're making, the insulation, the air sealing, the appliance selection, it's with the future in mind and not necessarily just the upfront cost to us as the builder. Um, the benefits go beyond economics. Studies from Harvard and the EPA show that combustion appliances like gas stoves and furnaces significantly degrade indoor air quality. So these can worsen asthma, trigger respiratory issues, and increase overall health risks, especially in children and seniors. Um, this impact has been shown to be magnified significantly in smaller footprint homes, where combustion byproducts concentrate more quickly due to limited separation between the cooking area, the sleeping area, and the living area. Because we as a builder are building compact, efficient homes, small square footage homes, eliminating indoor combustion isn't an option for us. It's really essential. And by going all electric and incorporating mechanical ventilation, we're ensuring that the homes we build are not only affordable, but healthy and safe environments for people to be able to breathe easier and to thrive in the long term. Um, I do have a list of some of the programs and incentives that we have used in the past. There is an energy hub for incentives and programs that you can look at from the perspective of a homeowner and what incentives may be available to homeowners, as well as from the perspective of a contractor or a builder and what might be available to you as a builder. But I am happy to answer any questions if anyone has any. I will preface it by saying I am far from an expert and I know what we do.
Hey Carly, this is Morgan. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yeah.
Awesome. I think I just switched over from my phone. Hey, I am really thinking about how to retrofit my my own home, especially after. quoted that energy, what'd you say, $14 a month?
Yep.
Um, so that list of incentives from either that could be utilized by either homeowners or by builders would be super helpful. So maybe this is kind of a multi-pronged question then. So assuming that those incentives, which I'm sorry, are they? I assume they are both state and federal incentives. Is that correct?
I believe that this hub is just pulling, they might pull federal incentives as well.
Okay.
It's a state hub.
Okay.
Um, and so, but they might pull federal as well.
So how is Habitat, are you guys doing any planning or strategizing, assuming a little the precarity of some of these federal subsidies in our current environment? And I guess maybe the bigger picture question is, would Habitat be able to build all electric without access to these subsidies?
Yeah. So, yes. So I pulled some numbers up. We run like the the numbers of what it would be for us to build like an at code home and then what we typically build. So our cottage development right now that we're doing, we have 1 and 2 story homes that are net zero. And our 1 story homes are about 20% above energy code, and our 2 story homes are 24% above energy code. So we're able to model out there like what are extra costs, like kind of high performance costs that go into those. So in a single story home, and these are 12 to 1400 square foot, so very small footprint homes. We're looking at single story 4700 additional dollars is getting us 20% above code. And then we're adding solar onto that. So where our biggest issue comes into play is we don't have solar incentive. We don't have the solar rebates right now. And so when we typically like our energy modeling, like we're ending up paying $10,000 a home for solar, and we get about half of that back in rebates. So we're probably paying 5,000 for solar, and it's offsetting most of the cost, or most of the energy consumption that a family is using. Um, in the last 10 months, the state has not had any funds left. And so we've had to, fully subsidize the cost of the solar. And that's coming out of, we have a donor restricted fund. So we had an estate gift that was given to us. And so we started what's essentially like a quasi endowment that is specifically for sustainability upgrades in our homes. And so it allows us to hopefully continue and to be able to say, we're going to build all electric. We're going to put solar on all of our homes. And we didn't want to say that with the intention of always needing the rebates. And so we created this mechanism where people could continue to add into our fund and help us build it, because we have a lot of donors that they really appreciate that we build that way, and so they're donating into that fund specifically so that we're able to continue to build to the standard. It's costing us $10,000 more in upfront build costs, and the savings that they're getting over the 30 years of their mortgage is 28,000. So it doesn't help us as the builder, but it's helping this family and the resale families significantly. Put a couple more. This is, I'll put in the chat, the Solar for All program. They are in the process of kind of finalizing what that looks like. And so this is federal greenhouse gas reduction funds that somehow has still not been clawed back. And They have been moving forward with it. There's a mechanism that allows single family and multifamily use for it. I want to say the state of Oregon has like $86 million to dole out between now and 2029. And so there will be, there's not a lot of, they're still working on what exactly that looks like. There's not a lot of middle housing allowances in there. So there's still some work to be done on how exactly the program is set up. But our team is one of the teams working with them on how they can make sure it works. And that will have, it's income restricted, but it will have the ability to be for new builds and putting solar on homes and communities as well. Ian.
Hey, Carly. I just had a question. Well, first of all, everything you're saying sounds amazing. And it's great to hear all that. I don't know a lot about solar panels myself, but do they have like a lifespan or can they keep going indefinitely? And if they do have like a lifespan, does Habitat help the owner replace the solar panels at the end of the lifespan of them?
I imagine that there is a lifespan. I do not know it. My construction person absolutely probably knows this answer. I do know that it's very little maintenance, but one of the things that we have built into our program and one of the benefits of our program, we have about a 10-month program that folks go through. And so part of our education is also educating them on the maintenance of their home and understanding what maintenance and upkeep they're going to have to do with the solar panels, with using the app that comes with the, being able to understand and access and, read and know what energy they're using and not using, as well as like with cleaning out the filters on different things and all of that. So they get a whole manual of like maintenance and upkeep, and they go through a whole class on making sure they understand that. So one of the bigger things that we see, because we're able still to track in some of our developments that are multifamily, because we own the land, we have access to the data on the energy. And so we're able to see and able to track what they're spending and what they're paying on a monthly basis for their energy costs. And user consumption is a bigger probably indicator than anything else, and education around how people use their energy, because from one exact model of a home to another, there can be very drastic differences in energy consumption.
Gotcha. Thank you, Carly.
Yeah.
And you have a question from Ryan in the chat. So, is there any pushback from the electrical company related to demand and supply? I've heard we're pushing up against available supply in some cases.
I mean, I do think that is like the often heard of like pushback, and it's one of the things that it's one of the reasons for us why we are pairing it with solar. So pairing it with renewable energy so that we're not using demand. We're not taking from the energy grid, and we're utilizing. So.
And then John had the answer to solar panels. About 25 years.
Nice.
About lifespan.
We are currently only doing new construction. We are in the process of talking through, so we worked through an entire what a renovation or like a heat pump retrofit program would look like, and we're ready to launch when all of the funding we would use was zeroed out. So we have an infrastructure in place to move when money is available, to be able to do some type of heat pump retrofitting program. It's something that when I was at the Habitat affiliate in Washington State, we were able to work with the Washington State University, and they funded a fair amount of our ability to heat pump retrofit and do like a community heat pump, like group purchase program essentially. So group purchasing so that it's cheaper. But then if you income qualified, the Habitat affiliate would go in and retrofit the home for them at no cost because it was subsidized through grants. It's certainly something that we're looking at here and hoping to be able to bring to the community, but until there's feasible grant funding to do that, we're just doing new builds at this point.
Any other questions from folks? I'm sure Carly's available by email or phone if you have any other questions for her. But yeah, we really appreciate you, Carly, giving us the presentation today. It's helpful, it's insightful. So
Yeah, thank you.
oh, Peter.
Well, I was just going to make a comment. Thank you, Carly, for the presentation, and having been around many of the electrification projects, residential projects in the community for quite a long time. It's just kudos to the affordable housing developers in this community for moving the needle on electrification and adoption of these different technologies, kind of helping to bring down the cost for other builders in the community. And where we were doing net zero homes, one or two at a time, Habitat and similar community builders, Rooted and Thistle and Nest, like their net zero or goal net zero, or it could be over hundreds by now between the organizations. And I'm aware that the economic calculus for a nonprofit group is much different than a for-profit builder. I'm respectful of that, but I think that the overall efforts of these folks to look at home ownership cost, affordability from a holistic look, as opposed to the first cost, is really helping all of us. So kudos to you guys and for digging in and getting it done.
Well, thank you, everyone. We look forward to our next full coalition meeting on July 29th from 4 to 6, and then we'll have more electrification presentations in August. So thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Carly.
Thank you.